What is up, Argonauts? This is D-Rec here with the Lions Rift Gaming Outlet, and I am bringing you another Cardfight Vanguard feature match. In today's match, we have Messiahs on the right with all the new support from Ronda of Chaos and Salvation, and on the left, we have Luard with all the recent support from Set 12, featuring all the new ritual support and Drag Strider and all that good stuff. So, definitely looking to see what will come out of this match, see if Luard still kind of keeps up or not with meta now that all this new support comes out for Link Joker, and then Set 13 out with Thavas, Aquaforce, and then Overlord. So a lot of talk about getting pushed to Tier 2. I definitely agree that it's not nearly as strong as it was back in the summer. So, but we're just going to see how it keeps up right now with the Messiahs and all the new support that they got. So going into it, the Luard player will be going first, and he's going to ride to Ezra's and pass. So definitely looking to try and keep up with more match videos and deck profiles. So if you guys do enjoy this match, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for future content. I greatly appreciate it. So both players at 1 now, both players at 1 damage, with the Luard player going into his grade 2 turn, using the starter skill to discard Scry and to draw a card, and then calling the Belial Owl for the boost, and the first stride skill target there. Definitely a good way to plus off first stride, especially if you get first stride for the match. Most players usually go for Doomed as their first stride option, simply because of the ability to draw a ton of cards and then gain so much hand advantage and draw into a lot of key play cards to put on some board precedence and all that good stuff. But if you go that, you go stride into that, do the stride break, kill Belial Owl for 2 Sword Breaker. That's instantly a +3 right there. Not to mention in this situation, you'd be able to Soul Blast the PG, so that's +4. You count the calling another Owl to get the Ezra's back to hand. And then going to the stride break right there, and then it's a +5 total, and then drive checks +8. So you're automatically looking at somewhere either just under or over a double-digit hand. So both players rewriting for their grade 2 turns, neither of them letting up at all, but the Luard player is in a bit of a bind with the offensive critical from last turn, putting him to 4 damage, while the Messiah player will be able to Sea Breeze this turn, seeing as the Luard player didn't rewrite during his turn. So the Messiah player goes into the old Alter Ego Messiah, definitely the better choice in this situation, seeing as he's going to be able to go to Sea Breeze. He doesn't want to give up that ability to lock cards and be able to do a ton of, or a good amount of plays for first stride, for him anyway. He'll be able to do the stride break to lock a target on the field, and then lock one of his opponent's units as well. And seeing as Sea Breeze is an axe skill, you can do a lot of board setup before trying to go into it, so that you can give yourself targets to do things like in this situation he was able to call Gobeldober to hand, from hand to rearguard rather, and be able to lock it on stride. So at the end of the turn he'll be able to unlock it, countercharge, draw a card, and just be able to benefit from that and put some pressure on his opponent's board. And in this situation, the Messiah player got the crit into the Miracle Heal at 6. That was so close to being game for the Luard player there. I was just ready to call it right then and there, be like, well, that's the game, guys. Glad you enjoyed this 4-minute match video. But that's, well, the Luard player better make the most of that, just because he's not going to, I don't think he's going to get the chance to do that again. Miracle Heals like that don't just pop out of nowhere. Except for my friend Jason. Shout out to Jason, because he knows what the quadruple Miracle Heal feels like. Repping back to Enigmas in 2015. Yeah. We don't talk about that, except just now. So, going right into the Luard player's first stride, he's going to be able to go to Doomed. And even though he has a somewhat locked board, he'll still be able to do a good amount of plays here. So, since he's at Ritual, he'll be able to get a counter charge off of Abyssal Owl there. And he's going to call 2 Sword Breakers, so the double Soul Blast, draw 2. We'll be able to help him out with some hand here, and then he'll be able to go into a few other things as well. So, countercharging there, and then Soul Blasting one of the grade 2 and the Ezra's to draw 2 here. Now he has 2 Ezras in drop, and he is at Ritual 3, so he'll be able to use PG skill in drop. So doing the skill here, he's going to retire the left side Swordbreaker to put 1 back, and then add 1 to hand, and then calling Arcer to give +3 to Gonvar on the front row, and then retiring that in Swordbreaker to do Doom skill, getting 2 usable units there to kill off the starter and the Gobeldover, giving the Messiah player 2 less optimal targets for his stride break ability, but it won't matter too much because we do know he added the, he got the Alter Ego Neo to hand earlier on, so we do know that he does have those in hand at the moment, so he'll be able to go into that later on, unless he has to pitch it for some sort of Perfect Guard cost or whatever else have him. And then the Luard player is going to call out another Gonvar, so both of those are going to proc off of the Cursed Eye Raven skill. So the one in the front is at has a +6 counter on it, and then the one in the back has a +3. So looking at a 23k column here for the left side column there. And top 2 check. Neither of those options are very good in this situation. They don't really do anything. Any of those was a Belial Owl, that would have been nice. And yes, you can tech Belial Owl's skill off of Cursed Eye Raven because it's still being retired for the effect of your card. And Cursed Eye Raven is considered a card in the deck since it's not in an actual circle on the field. So the rear guard swing on the left for the 1 damage, and the Vanguard attack into a Perfect Guard. And the offensive stand trigger is there. So that'll be an 18k base attack. He's going to swing at Arrestor Messiah. Definitely a lose-lose situation for the Luard player, simply because it's either intercept bait or it's a lock target for next turn. Either way, it's not going to matter because of Alter Ego Neo's skill to call a card from hand before locking anything anyway. So again, lose-lose for the Luard player in either way. So that's the last attack of the Luard player's turn, and it looks like he'll be able to recycle the Belial Owl from earlier. So, and it looks like he's going to do just that. He's double checking the drop zone there. But now the Messiah player is up for his first official stride turn. And he definitely can go into a lot of his different tech choices, whether it's Basaltis or Flageolet. I don't think he'll be able to go Harmonix and Neo this turn, but I could be wrong. So he's going to go into Alter Ego Neo for the reride and pitch for the stride cost there. Basaltis is definitely an interesting card. I do like that you're able to do a lot of multi-attacking with it, especially if you have the counterblasts. Lady Fencer is an amazing grade 2 tech, and the ability to lock itself and then unlock it with Basaltis, so you get the restanding for the 11k base. Really, really helpful for being able to poke, especially in this situation where the Luard player is at 5 damage. You can't afford to take a single damage here, because expecting another Miracle Heal like before is just not in the playbook at all. So another Lady Fencer there. He's going to lock the front row more Fessa once more, and then calling out another Lady Fencer. They're both being at 11k on call. So, being able to do a ton of stuff off this, he looks like he's going to be able to draw one off of the Blink Messiah there. So, the 20k attack potentially from one of them. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to do both of them, seeing as he only has 2 counterblasts and 3 cards that counterblast. So, he's going to counterblast for the first attack with the boosted Lady Fencer for 20k at the Luard player's Vanguard into a 21k shield. So, like I said, you'll only be able to do one of those. These will have to pay the cost for Basaltis' skill. And that's going to cost a counterblast and a Persona flip there. But he'll still be able to get 2 more attacks off after that, unlocking the locked Lady Fencer and then locking the Gonvar on the front row left side circle there. So the Luard player is going to PG that attack there. He's going to discard the Grozny for that. So first check, offensive critical trigger. Second check, another offensive critical trigger. A third offensive critical trigger from the Messiah player. Holy Jesus. The Luard player definitely can't take any of these attacks because that's instant game. There's no way he's going to double or even triple heal out of that, seeing as he's already burned through 2 heal triggers. So maybe if it was at 1, he just could not guard it all, but that's pretty ridiculous. If I recall correctly, the Messiah player said he was playing 12 crits, so that's pretty nuts, especially since one of those is going to be able to go back. Now the Luard player is looking for his free stride. He's going to put back a Grozny and the Swordbreaker for the cost. He's going to go into Spectral Blaster. Could have gone into Drag Strider in the situation, but with the 3 cards that the Messiah player drew off of card skills, it's definitely a toss-up whether or not he was able to get a heal trigger off that. We do know that 2 are in the damage zone here, but aside from that, the potential for him to have drawn one here is also very high, and risking that, especially with cards like the new G-Guard, the Lady Healer, that can get plus 10k shield off the bat, and then cards like Destiny Dealer and other techs like that being hurtful as well. But the Spectral Blaster is still a safe play here, seeing as the back row is pretty much protected at this point, with the Messiah player not having any means of acquiring counter blasts during this turn and then going into it, because we do know that he is playing the new Perfect Guard that binds to Lock 2 on his side of the field. So paying the cost, the Luard player flips the Seabreeze for Spectral Blaster, retires the Belial Owl to draw an additional card. So I believe he now has 5 cards in hand. So being able to restand here and put some pressure on, we do know that there are several 10Ks in the Messiah player's hand. But aside from that, we're not, kind of hard to tell what he could have gotten us outside from that. Like I said, the drawing into heal triggers or PGs is definitely something to look out for, especially when you're doing a lot of drawing and stuff like that. That was a really big thing for Luard before, just drawing into everything they needed and then being able to recycle them all. Belial Owls and Ezra's especially. That was heavy for a lot of decks that existed then when BT11 came out. ZTB's definitely got a good boost in support with Rewind Tigers and Cruising Dragon for the draw power, and the reprint of ARGO and stuff like that really helped the deck. But going back to the match real quick, the double trigger check off the Spectral Blaster's first attack for the stand and the draw. Power is good, but doesn't really help so much outside of that. And it was PG'd anyway, so it looks like the second attack is going to get PG'd as well, so we can safely assume that either they were draws for turns or they were gotten off of the draw skills from Alter Ego and Blink. So safe to assume that those were drawn off those skills, and yeah, might have been a better play to go into Drag Strider after all, but food for thought for future matches going into it. The Messiah player goes into his stride turn, and he's got a pretty decent front row. We should be able to call some stuff from hand now at this point. He's going to go into Harmonics and Neo Messiah. The card is amazing. It's not quite. It's like a not quite as good, or rather a better one-time use of the Gurga GR skill. If it could be done more than once, it'd be broken. So, but if you guys don't know what it does, on attack, unlock every locked card on the field, and it gets +5 for every unlocked card, and then all your unlocked cards gain +5 as well. So really, really good, really solid for multi-attacks, and just guard restrict overall. In this situation, with what he has on the field right now, he's got +5 from Blink, and then if he can lock at least 5, he's looking at plus 30k on an attack with guard restrict. So he uses the perfect guard skill to lock both of his lady fencers, and the front row one's going to get the benefit off that simply because it'll get the plus 2k from being unlocked, and they'll be able to poke for the 10k shield off the Luard player here. So the first attack's going to get guarded for 5k, and then he's going to lock the back row unit there. So it looks like the Messiah player is going to get plus a total of 35,000 here on attack, so that's going to be 61 on attack. So Blink's skill lets him draw 1, and then unlocking off of that, he is going to again get plus 35k, and then the Lady Fencer in the front is going to be base 16, and then the Arrestor is going to be base 14. So definitely going back to what the Luard player checked last turn, he's definitely looking at a few grade 0s for shield, but yeah, it's going to look like he's not going to be able to guard at all. Second check, critical trigger there. Third check, critical trigger, double critical for game. Messiah player takes the entire match and completely, utterly obliterates the Luard player. Thank you guys for watching so much. I hope you guys did enjoy the match. I'll be doing a few more. This was D-Rec with Alliance Rift, and I will see you guys in the next video. Enjoy the rest of this outro.